Hello. Welcome back to Reads of an Apple. I'm here to start the next weekly vlog. Now, this weekend was actually President's Day weekend. And I touched base a little bit on it during last week's vlog in my final clip, but I kind of was very melancholy this weekend, so it is currently Wednesday. I have not filmed a clip since last Thursday, so it's been about a week, and it just kind of felt weird to sit down. But anyway, I do have some updates, but not as much as I normally would for not filming a clip for 3 days. So, yeah, I was kind of in a melancholy mood this weekend, and I just kind of was vegging and watching TV, and I was kind of in a down emotional stuff. I definitely was kind of higher up in the wave of grief. So, you know, to kind of make myself feel better, I finally watched Tyler Henry's show. He's a medium, and I watched his Netflix show, and I thought it was even better than his Hollywood medium stuff, because I got kind of bored with some of the celebrities and how many of them were skeptics. And I loved it, and I am a big fan of Tyler Henry. I love the way he talks about just grief and life, and it's been a while. I have one of his books, actually. The first book he wrote. I actually have that on my little nonfiction shelf. But yeah, so I watched that whole season. I mean, it's only like 10 episodes or whatever. But I picked that up because I was watching other paranormal shows. I opened the Travel Channel app because I wanted to see if any new Dead Files had come out, because that's like my favorite ghost hunter, although it's not really a hunting show, because I love Amy and Steve. It's just, I love the way that they do it, and I love the way Amy approaches her abilities and other people with abilities, and yeah, I really like, and I like how she's an advocate for people to be safe in their home, but she's also an advocate against these paranormal investigators and people who don't really understand the paranormal or don't really care about the paranormal, and antagonize them and make things worse. And I am a firm believer that a lot of investigators out there, especially when they're investigating people's houses and trying to help, a lot of them make things worse because they antagonize the ghosts, or they cause whatever activity is there to increase because things have now been opened, or people are more open to it, or just more aware of it, or whatever, and then things become bad. I can't tell you how many episodes of the Dead Files you hear about kids doing something silly, or people trying to do investigation work, or trying to cleanse without knowing what they're doing. But anyway, so I started a different Travel Channel show because I have no new episodes of Dead Files yet. But I know I did see that there are new episodes coming soon. I think in March we're going to get the second half of the current season. So I'm very excited for that. But anyway, hi. I started Kindred Spirits, and I wasn't quite sure what to think. So I started the newest season. And for the most part, I'm enjoying it. It's a little overproduced at times, and they definitely play up the creepy aspect, and so I was kind of creeping myself out, but I still wanted paranormal stuff, so that's why I then went to the Tyler Henry show, because I was like, I don't want to give myself nightmares. But I'm enjoying the Kindred Spirits, and I like the way that they treat the ghosts and the spirits in the space. They're very forward with them, and they'll talk to them, and I like the way that they handle themselves, for sure. And apparently they were on the Ghost Hunters, but I stopped watching that because I started getting annoyed by that dude. But I know that's also a Travel Channel thing, and apparently there's like 12 million spin-offs of Ghost Hunters or specials or whatever on the app. But anyway, so I started watching Kindred Spirits. So I watched I can't remember what the current season is. I think it's 7. But whatever the current season is, I'm all caught up on that season. And then I watched all of the season before that. So if it is season 7, I watched all of season 6 and a couple of episodes of season 5, the first few episodes. And then I also went back and watched the first 1 or 2 episodes of season 1. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at the time difference here. And just production and what type of equipment they have on them. So that was kind of interesting to see how different the equipment has changed, or technology, or even just the funding that they get. So yeah, I started watching that. And then I watched the Tyler Henry show. And then when I was on Netflix, because I haven't been on Netflix pretty much since, I don't know what last came out, Witcher season 2 or Bridgerton season 2, but that was the last time I was on Netflix, was when the most recent of those shows came out. I think it was Bridgerton. And then I ended up putting on Drink Masters or something, and it was a competition show with like mixologists and bartenders, and so I put on that whole thing. And then I did do some decorating. I got some of my artwork framed. I did put up a couple pieces of artwork. I put up my fairy lights in the living room. I got my geeky nerdy tapestry up in the dining room / game area. So I did do a little bit, and I did some more organizing and cleaning and stuff, because Sunday I was just like, I have to do something. Plus I had 2 Avalanche games on the weekend, and so yeah, it was basically a couch potato weekend for me. But as for book stuff, I have not read very much book stuff, and I was kind of stressing myself out about, you know, I wanted all these book club books to read. I wanted to get Pharaoh Feb done. I still need one more book that I have to read for my Pharaoh Feb vlog. So I don't know if that's going to happen by the end of the month. I'm just kind of stressing myself out about, because I want to read, but I just wasn't in the mental space to read. But Sunday night, either Sunday night or Monday night, I did pick up Sweep in Peace. And I am reading the physical copy along with listening to the graphic audio. It's available on Hoopla, and I am almost done. I think I have like an hour and 20 minutes left in the audiobook. So my goal is to finish this tonight, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. And it was different than I thought. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it's definitely intriguing about what's going on, because we meet an arbitrator and he's having like a peace summit here. So we've got the merchants and we've got the vampires, and then we've got this other like barbarian warrior type group, and they're trying to broker peace between all 3 of them, and Sean's gone, and Dina's breaking my heart, but I'm loving it, and I can't wait to finish it, and I'm super excited to talk to everybody. And once again, the graphic audio is just amazing. So yeah, I know I am not talking about it very much, but I will talk about it more when I finish it. But then since I'm close to doing a wrap up for the month anyway, I'll just save most of my thoughts for there. But I at least wanted to say I am reading. And then when I'm not out here on the couch listening to the hoopla on my TV, I have been pushing myself to get through Spirit Bound. Yeah, so I am still working on Spirit Bound for the Vampire Academy read along. I am 86% through. I was at 40% for like the longest time. And then the other night when I went to bed, I was still kind of like, I was tired and I was like ready to lay down in bed, not on the couch. But I wasn't quite like sleepy. My mind was still going. So I ended up reading till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I got a good chunk of it done. So my other goal is to finish Spirit Bound tonight. This one I'm definitely enjoying than book 4. So far, I was going to say it's my favorite so far, but I think book 3 is still kind of up there as my favorite. There's some things where I'm kind of like hesitant on, but we'll see how things end. So I'm getting pretty close to finishing this. And that's exciting. I was hoping to take part in the book club. As for what I'm planning to try to finish the rest of this month, I was hoping to read the Six of Crows duology for that book club, but I ended up just removing that from my to-do list. And it's supposed to take place like just before or an hour before the SJM along one. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to even be there the entire time. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But I do plan on picking up A Court of Silver Flames because I need to get that done for this weekend. And I should say, I had put on a hold with my library on Libby for the audiobook, and it was like a 4-week or a 6-week wait or something crazy. And I was just like, oh, it's fine. I doubt I'll get it in time. But I actually got it today. So I might be able to switch back and forth. And this is the normal one. The graphic audio isn't out. So this will be my first time listening to one of the normal audiobooks for this series. But I might read along, or I might just read this physically, and then if I'm running out of time, listen to it at work. And then after I finish this, my plan is to pick up the 6th book of Vampire Academy, because that book club is like the 28th. It's like the last day of the month. So I have the ABCs of Love read along, of which I have one of the 2 books for this month checked out on KU. I doubt I'm going to get to that, which means I need to try to find a contemporary novella or a shorter contemporary that I can try to slam in to get my contemporary read of the month for my favorites at the end of the year. Although I do have a couple bonuses from last month, so if I don't get to one, but I want to meet my goal of reading at least one, even if it has to be a novella. And then I also still need to pick up a historical book for the month. However, I do have 2 new releases that came out yesterday on Tuesday, and one of them is Lorraine Heath's new book, so The Counterfeit Scoundrel, first in a new series. This is like the Chessmen. Yeah, the Chessmen Masters of Seduction. So I'm excited for a new Lorraine Heath book. And then one of my most anticipated books, Never Seduce a Duke by Vivian Lorette. Look at how pretty. And this is potentially the final book in the Mating Habits of Scoundrels. Let me see what it says at the end. If it'll be like... So this is the finale for the series. Because usually the last page says what the next book is coming up. Oh my gosh, we usually get 1 book a year from her. But it says Vivian Lorette launches a brand new series in late 2023 with a story about a debutante who makes up a fake fiancé. The Liars Club. All right, it's announced this book is out, so pre-orders will probably go up for the Liars Club soon. That's about how long it takes. That's usually when the pre-order goes out. At least that's when the pre-order came out for this one with the previous book, but my watch is going off. So this is a historical I am planning to read if I can Monday and Tuesday. If this is like any of the other Vivian Lorette books, it will be very easy for me to read this in one sitting in just a few hours because I flow through her books. I love Vivian Lorette, and this is one of my most anticipated historical releases since How to Steal a Scoundrel's Heart came out last year. So yeah, I pre-ordered this in May when the other book came out. So yeah, and it just came out on Tuesday, and I love it. And I got a signed book plate last month or last week, so I'll have to get my book plate in here But yeah, I'm hoping this will be my historical of the month. If not, I will be picking it up early March if I can. So that is it for book stuff. So I don't really have anything else, so let's do the quest calendar real quick because we have a couple days to catch up on. So I have been playing the quest calendar. 2023's theme is the Void Spark Chronicles. So this is a tabletop role-playing game-based system, but it's in the format of a daily calendar. And each day is on a page. Saturdays and Sundays are combined. It's created by Sundial Games, which, fun fact, they are a Colorado company, which is great. And yeah, this is the second year I've done it, and I have had a lot of fun. This year's theme, if you could not tell, is sci-fi, space, fantasy. So think Star Wars, Firefly, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, all that good stuff. So I'm having a blast. And we are playing as Zarilia Tur. She is her race is Urzan, and she's a mystic. So she's the like Star Wars type person because she's got a little like laser sword, which is fun. All right, so I'll go over the basic layout of the calendar if this is the first weekly vlog you're seeing. So here is how like last Friday's looked. And what's great is this has a good combination. So usually there's normal pages and there's combat pages, but this actually is a combination. So all of the script type font that we see is the story. Any of the block style font in a box will be the mechanics of how we're going to play out that portion of today's story. And then if there's any combat, there's usually a little table style. So this one in specifically was 1 round each for 2 different enemies. And then this just kind of says we'll have to make an attack and a damage roll. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's 1 person for multiple rounds, sometimes there's 2 people for 2 rounds each. Sure, it's all kind of laid out in the table. And then all of the information that we need to play that day is on the back of the previous day. So we have some catch up to do. Like I said, today is Wednesday. So let's just get into it. And we are on our first planet exploring after joining the crew. Okay, so it looks like this is this game's version of a job board, but of course it's not a bulletin board, it's all electronic. All right, you find a local job board with a few postings. Citizens are asking for help in various ways. This is a great way to find small jobs and earn some extra credit. You may take on all of the jobs if you wish. Perfect, so we've got 3 different options. Locate a lost bot, which is an intellect roll. Help organize my warehouse, which is a charisma roll. And decipher a strange sigil, which is a constitution roll. So let's just get into it. All right, so locate lost bot. I'm going to attempt all of them because why not? An elderly alien requests help. She relies heavily upon an assistant bot for much of her daily needs. It seems that the bot went on an errand to pick up some groceries and never returned. The alien requests that if you find it and return it. Or that you find it and return it. Okay. So this is an intellect roll reminder investigator. We do not have investigator. And our intellect is a 0. So we just add 0 to our d20 roll. And that is a 19. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, if your result is 11 or more, you discover the bot in a gutter. It shorted out in a rainstorm and fell inside. So, decide to sell the bot to another for 5 credits or return the bot to its owner for 3 credits. I'm returning the bot to its owner. That was our task. So, we gain 3 credits and we also gain 1 virtue. Fun, okay? I'll worry about ticking all my stuff at once on my character sheet. So let's move on to help organize my warehouse. A grouchy collector of flora and fauna from across the galaxy is no longer capable of taking care of her collection. She wants help getting things organized, but is particular about how her valuable specimens are handled. So this is Charisma Roll Reminder Survivalist. I do not have Survivalist. And our Charisma is a -2. So let's see what happens. That is a 16, so 14. Okay, once again, we needed 11 or more, so you put up with the miserable lady long enough to properly organize her collection of odd species. She pays you 4 credits. Nice, that's a good chunk of change. And then on to the final job, decipher strange signal. A scientist studying ancient signals hidden in the cosmos has discovered a strange energy focused in her instruments. If your virtue, so our virtue is currently at a 4. So if your virtue is 1 or more, gain a +3 bonus to your roll. Perfect. So this will be a constitution. So that is a 1 plus our bonus of +3. So we're at a +4. And then it also, arcane adept applies. And we do have arcane adept. So that gives us another +2. So we are at a total of +6 to this one. Nice. And that is a 9, so 15. Okay, and this one also needed an 11. The energy in the signals appear to decipher the morality and virtue of your heart, though it can still be deadly to anyone. The scientist is pleased with your findings and pays you 4 credits. Nice. So we ended up with 11 credits for today. That's awesome. So I'm just going to jot that down. And then because we're playing catch up, I'll do it all at once, but I don't have the pencil over here, so I'll try to remember what's going on. All right, so that was Saturday, Sundays. So let's move on to Mondays. Ooh, the ship shop. That's fun. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be able to try buying upgrades for our ship. You find a shop that sells ship parts and upgrades. Buy any that you can afford. You will also have a chance to hire crew members soon. Okay, so ship parts is just a generic thing. It's 5 credits. It restores 1 point of integrity on any ship compartment. We have 3 of those because we didn't need them before. And then we can buy thrusters, which are 20 credits, and those are equipped in the engine room, and they gave a +10 to evasion. We can purchase sensors, which is 20 credits as well, and that gives a +5 to aim and goes in the bridge. Or we can buy deflectors, which is 30 credits, and that is an equipment weapons, and that gives a +1 to shield. So let me see if the back of this says anything else. Okay, so this is just like equipment. You can only equip 1 upgrade to a compartment. The upgrades will dictate which compartment they can be attached to. You can switch them out when you acquire a new one, or you can also equip a ship upgrade if you restore the integrity of a destroyed compartment. Oh, you may also resell your ship upgrades at half price back to another shop that also sells upgrades. So that's good to keep an eye on if it comes time to deal with that. Okay, so so I did check because there was some confusion when we became the financial manager of the ship's money versus our money, and it's all the same. So we can choose to spend all of our money on the ship, or we can choose to spend all of our money on equipment for us. Currently I am still kind of keeping it separate. I have 34 in the ship's ledgers, but I have more than what I have written down because we just said we got 11, right? So I have 56 credits for myself. So we technically have a total of 90 credits that we could use to upgrade the ship. So I like the idea of at least getting in more evasion. Although I feel like it's always more beneficial, percentage-wise, to add to the attack rolls, because if you hit, you won't need to use your defenses. So maybe I'll go with the sensors, which adds a +5 to our aim. And let me see. +5 to our aim. And we do have 3 ship parts. So what I might do, I was gonna get 2, but I think what I'll do is I will get the sensors, so that's 20 credits. And then those apply in the bridge. And then I'll get, you know what, I'll get 2 more ship parts for a total of 5 ship parts that we have on hand. And hopefully that will be all that we need for the year, but we will see. So that will be a total of 30 credits spent, which leaves 4 credits in the ship ledger. And then I can worry about hiring people from my own stash moving forward. So we're going to do that. So yeah, we're going to buy these little sensors here if you choose to focus. Okay, so there was Monday. So yesterday's, Tuesdays. Okay, ooh, it looks like we're at a local tavern or bar or cantina or whatever they're going to call it here. Okay, you find a local bar that looks to be popular. There are lots of fun characters and activities to partake in and enjoy before your next mission. Oh, I forgot to. I totally spaced. Sundays. There is an event that we get every weekend. It's called the Sunday Lottery. It is a new mechanic for this year's calendar. And you roll a d6. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you lose credits. But if you roll a 3 through 6, you gain different amounts of credits. And you only get the option to do this on the Sunday pages. So I forgot I was going to do it, but I totally spaced it because it's up in the corner and we went down the list. So I will also do that. And I rolled a 6. So that means we gain 4 credits. So even more credits. Okay, so back to this. So number 1, this is optional. We can pay 1 credit to play a game of space darts. Optional number 2 is pay 1 credit to play a drinking game. Or 3, which is optional, converse with the locals. Okay. So let me go back to my character sheet. I would say let's try to play the space darts. We'll pay 1 credit. And we'll try this. So this is dexterity and athlete. So our dexterity is a +3 and we do have athlete. So that is a +5 total to our roll. Okay, so that is a 10, so 15. You are an expert in space darts and hit the bullseye easily. You beat the top score and earn a prize of 4 credits. So cool. So we net 4 credits on that. And then I do want to try to converse with the locals. So this is a charisma roll. Our charisma is -2, but let's see what happens. Oh, if you have bonded with the crew noted down from an earlier page, we do. Askel, Naley, and Brokvar join you at the bar for a drink. So gain a +4 bonus to this roll. So we get a net +2. Great. Okay. And that is a 17. Heck yeah. So we are at a 19. So if the result is 15 or more, a group of some rowdy aliens have had too much to drink. They try to start a fight with you, but you are able to calm them down and smooth things over before anyone gets hurt. Okay, so I guess conversing with locals isn't a great thing. Okay, so there's that. So let us move on really quickly because I'm running out of space up here. To Wednesday. So today, okay, perfect. So here's this, and we get to hire some crew members. There are a few with specific and useful skills that wish to be hired on your ship and could serve as valuable crew members. Hire any that you can afford. So there's a zoologist with his 20 credits, +1 to integrity, and an animal tamer, and a convoy, which is 20 credits, +1 integrity, and +survivalist. Okay, so... Okay, you have to pay an initial fee to hire the crew member and then assign them to a compartment. The crew member will remain in the compartment unless it is reduced to 0. At that time, the crew member dies. But we don't have any upkeep, it looks like, which is nice. So, you know what? I'm going to hire them both. So, 40 credits, I will take that out of my thing. And yeah, so that's all I have for today. I will see you tomorrow and Monday and let you know if I survive the negative degree and inches of snow that we're supposed to get tonight. So, have a good night. Hello. Happy Thursday. Yeah, it was super chilly. It got less than -7 this morning, and then when I woke up, it was still like -6 outside. And it was like wind chill warning. Wind chill put it below -30, and I was just like, I hugged my kitty and I was like, let's stay home today, let's not leave. But it's fine. Today was day 2 of being the IT person at work, but I finally got my work computer completely reset, and then I had to reconnect it to the server and deal with all of the settings, and then my speakers went out, but so I had to fix the audio drivers, and then it was just the whole thing. So, and then reloading all of our work settings and work programs. And so it was day 2 of being IT, and I am mostly completely set up. The only really kind of, and probably the most annoying thing out of everything, is now every time I go to one of our either distributor websites to look up parts or order parts, or to any of the brand websites to look up parts for equipment, I'm gonna have to re-enter the passwords and everything, because yeah, I lost all of the saved cookies and password settings and stuff like that. So thankfully, for anything that I have a personal account for, I can just hook it to my Google account and it's just saved in my Google account. But anything that's specifically work related, I just have saved on the work computer. So for the next month or so. But if this could happen at any other time, we've been very quiet the past 2 days. And we're going to get slammed here coming soon with people bringing in their lawnmowers before spring hits. So, and then we usually get one really big snowstorm in March. So then we'll get hit pretty big by people who haven't really dealt with their snowblower, because we haven't had like a crazy big snowstorm. But I feel like maybe a lot of those are done with, or I don't know. Or there'll just be a lot of parts from the commercial guys breaking stuff. So I don't know, but I feel like I did absolutely nothing today at work. But I'm just happy I was able to get back into my computer so I could pull the files that weren't saved on our server computer as well. And then when I was going to the bathroom today before I left work, I talked to my boss and I was like, I was thinking just now that we need to do that with your computer too, because she has a lot of programs and stuff that she uses on her computer that's only on her computer. So we need to kind of back up some of those files. I was like, I feel like this is the universe being like, hey, are you making sure you're backing everything up? Are you making sure you were saving things where they properly need to be saved? So, and it's fine if we lost some of the stuff, but I just really didn't want to, because I've had some of it forever. But anyway, yeah, so that was a fun day at work. But last night I did finish books, so let's talk about those. So first, I finished Sweep in Peace. I finished the graphic audio. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. There are some things that I'm really enjoying the expansion of. I think overall I liked the first book a little bit better than this one. But I'm very excited for what's going to come from this one moving forward. I feel like outside of the new character that we meet Oro, who's a chef that she hires. I love him. He cracks me up. And the graphic audio dude who like is him, I love him, just constantly like bemoaning his life in the background. He's so like theatrical, woe is me every time anything goes wrong. And he really cares for Dina in his own way, and it's really sweet. So I loved meeting him. It seems like we're gonna have Sean back because it's been like a year and a half that he was on this other planet, but their time moves differently. But I feel like it's like 6 months our time or something like that. But so that is, I feel like, going to move forward. Like he's had his chance to go out and explore the universe and learn what he can, so he can kind of feel like he's more on the same playing field as Dina. But I loved it. 5 stars. I'm still not quite sure what to think about what's kind of happened with the arbitrator and the way he completely manipulated Dina, and she was almost forced into a corner to do things that she either wasn't comfortable with or goes against how she sees her role as an innkeeper, and as well as what the innkeepers are supposed to allow. And I was kind of disappointed, and like I understand and I appreciate the fact that she ended up not getting punished for those discretions at the end of the book. But I also, and I know she's excited that she didn't lose any stars or nothing happened in that aspect. But I mean, they could have given her half a star, but I'm excited. So we'll see where book 3 takes us. I cannot wait to read it next month. But yeah, 5 stars. I loved it. As for reading challenges, I applied it to. I tentatively applied it to Winter's Kiss number 3 for 3-word title. And this also worked for the Starbucks quarterly challenge. I have had 3 prompts left for a while now, but this got one of them, and I'm applying this to Cafe Americano. And one of those prompt options is a food, chef, or baker in the story. And it doesn't say main character. It just is in the story. And since an aspect of Dina getting ready to hold this summit is her going to find a chef, and I love Oro to pieces, and he's definitely not like 100% in the background. Like we have quite a few scenes with him, so I was like, I'm counting it. So I only have 2 prompts left for that now, but that's okay. That's not due. That doesn't end until the middle of March, I believe. This also worked for Read What You Own. And then for Guildathon, I applied this to the technical prompt, which is a sci-fi book or a book that has advanced technology, and this counts for both, but more the sci-fi is where I'm like putting it in that lane. So yeah, that's it. A lot of my stuff has kind of gone down. This would technically work for vampires for Pharaoh Feb, but I already have a book covering that, and I know technically Pharaoh Feb is over, but I'm counting all of February for Pharaoh Feb. And at this point, I'm sitting on 3 books for Pharaoh Feb, which makes me incredibly sad. So I'm kind of sad that this one also doesn't work to cover one of those, but this month is just going by way too quickly, and I feel like I haven't read anything at all. But anyway, so yeah, I loved that. And then, despite the fact it was like 1 o'clock when I went to bed, I stayed up and finished Spiritbound, because I was tired to lay down, but I wasn't like, my mind wasn't tired. So I ended up finishing this. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I don't know. I feel like that first book was 4 stars and the third book was 4 stars. But everything else has been 3.5 because I don't know. It just falls short for me in a couple of ways. This one, I am intrigued by what's going on in the overall story. I was very surprised because here the main goal of this book is to work with Lissa to see if she can, to find more information about a spirit user that could potentially bring a Strigoi back to being a Moroi or a Dampier or whatever they were previously. I'm not going to worry too much about spoilers because I feel like the series is super old. And then, so that happens, and then Lissa's learning how to use the spirit in that way, and then they're trying to find a way that they can get a hold of Dimitri and or other Strigoi, but obviously the main one is Dimitri in this case. And we've got them at court now because they're not in high school anymore. And then Christian and Lissa get kidnapped by Dimitri, and a bunch of people die. And I was like, okay, we're getting like super bloody again, I guess. And it just, I don't know, like, it's happened before in the book where all of a sudden it's like things are dire, things are drastic, but there's not that vibe throughout the entire book or since, I guess book 2 was really when the stakes were upped, with like death. And so I don't know, it just doesn't feel like, I don't know. It feels slightly jarring to me when it's like, oh, okay, we're going like full on like adult paranormal with the gore and people dying left and right. And so that just doesn't mesh super well with me, those two aspects of the overall plot. And then I understand what's going on with Dimitri, but I'm confused on what she's really doing with Dimitri. And I don't know if she's drawing out Rose's and Dimitri's relationship so that there's more angst with them, because the overall story she has for Rose and Lissa is like 6 books long, but she wanted to drag out both of their relationship. Like, I understood more of Lissa and Christian breaking up, but I was still kind of angry that they are still basically broken up and they're not really officially back together, although they were kissing. So maybe they're technically officially back together, but from what I've read on page, they just kissed. But they're not like officially boyfriend-girlfriend again. And then there's the whole stuff with Rose and Dimitri. And I liked Adrian, but I really don't know how I feel with Rose seriously dating Adrian. If Dimitri's supposed to be endgame, like, I was worried this was going to be kind of love triangle-y when he was introduced. And then it seemed like it really wasn't. And I was like, okay. And then this book was like, nope, we're bringing the love triangle in. And I just don't like love triangles. And I don't understand. Like I said a little bit ago, it feels like things are happening with Dimitri and Rose that progression-wise, more wrenches are thrown in their romance to drag their romance out. And I know this is an older book, so this could also be whatever was going on YA-wise back when this was originally released. But I am okay with they get together, they're happy, let's do the final book of just them two fighting against all odds against the world. I am okay with that when it is like, I mean, think Cat and Bones, the Night Huntress series. She and Bones, like, yeah, they kind of break up a couple of times, but for the most part, through those last, I want to say like 3 books, they are together, they are strong together, and they are dealing with things. I mean, look at Hidden Legacy. I mean, the first book is like them getting together. For the second trilogy, Catalina and Alessandra really kind of, I feel like, are strengthening and really getting to that HEA position in the second book in their trilogy. But the third book, Ruby Fever, her and Alessandra are fine. We don't need to worry about breakups. We don't need to worry about other people coming into the situation. They are fine. They are happy. They are together. They are trusting in each other. They are comfortable in their relationship. They are happy with their relationship. And yes, they are still kind of progressing and moving along like towards marriage and not just like happily dating or whatever. But I've read older paranormals like that too, where I mean, the Jane Jameson series is very similar, and that's an older paranormal series. And, you know, her, and I forgot, her love interest is the vampire guy. I mean, they're pretty strong in their relationship. And yeah, they have their hiccups and whatnot, but I don't know. And if Dimitri's endgame, I mean, she came this close to sleeping with Adrian. And I was like, I don't know if I like this. Technically, they're broken up. Technically, it's not cheating. But I very much... And Dimitri said some very horrible things to her, which was stupid, and he was obviously in his feels. So I just feel like he's acting younger than he is. Rose, I feel like, has matured over the last few books, but then there's moments, like in this book, where all of a sudden it's like she's back being a 14-year-old, and she has lost all of that extra maturity that she gained, especially at an earlier age. And so I'm just like, ugh. So I gave it 3.5. But once again, I'm loving Lissa, and I'm loving Lissa's storyline, and I'm very intrigued to see what's going on. And I don't know. I'm just, as you can tell, I'm just conflicted, because I'm enjoying myself reading these, and I'm having fun reading these. But, you know, afterwards, when I finish the book, or, I mean, this time it was slightly different, but, I mean, the last book for sure, I finished it, and I just kind of was like, I don't feel satisfied. And I know it's not the end of the series, but I'm like, yeah, it was good, it was fine, I enjoyed reading it, but I just didn't feel satisfied and like I got what I needed from it. And I kind of ish felt that way last night, but it ended on a pretty big cliffhanger, and I was kind of intrigued and what's going on. So I immediately picked up book 6 because I already had it checked out, and I am going to start a different book tonight, but I read a little bit of that, but we will talk about that in a second. So for Spirit Bound, I had to also move this one to Winter's Kiss bingo board number 3 for gold, and I used this for gold or yellow on the cover. This worked for Read What You Own. And then for Gildathon, once again, this was for Through Fire and Flames, like most of the other Vampire Academy books so far, which is continue a series / book that you'd like to continue. I just heard really weird sounds, and it's freaking me out. But I'm guessing it's outside. So yeah, that's what I applied it to. And then I did, like I said, pick up book 6. So that is this, Last Sacrifice. And I am 10% in. I'm on chapter 5. And I saw that this book is like almost 600 pages, which is absolutely ridiculous, but okay. Yeah, 590 pages is how long the ebook is. Why are these books this long? But I'm interested to see how the series ends. I'm very intrigued. If you did not know, and like I said, I'm comfortable talking spoilers for this. So I was very surprised at how the 5th book ended with the Queen being murdered and it being pinned on Rose. So I have gotten through her friends getting her out, and now she's on the road alone with Dimitri. And I did have a feeling when we found out that Lissa's father was sending money to Vegas or setting up money accounts in Vegas. I was and then when we were hearing about how she can't be a part of the council because you have to have 2 people in a family kind of thing, I was like, oh, as soon as I heard whatever the second piece of that information we received is, I was like, I know it. I bet she's going to have a half sibling or a hidden sibling or something like that out there. So she will have 2 people in her family. I was like, it has to be a secret sibling. So I'm intrigued to see what's going to go on with that. But yeah, so we will see. But that is not, like I said, I'm only 10% in because I basically just read it until I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. So there's books there. And then today, I need to watch Married at First Sight. So I'm going to watch that, and I have the last few episodes as I watch them. Instead of trying to remember everything and talk to my boss the next day, I've been doing little voice memos as something happens. And so, like, as I watch an episode, I'll send her like 12 different voice memos. And she watched it last night because I watch it on the app, so I watch it the day after it airs. And she has normal TV still. Because I changed to a streaming TV service and they don't have Lifetime, which is annoying. But anyway, so she actually sent me a couple voice memos last night. I was like, oh, she's so cute. But yeah, so I'm going to watch that. And then I plan to start A Court of Silver Flames because I got to get this sucker done for this weekend. The live show, I want to say, is Sunday. So I do have most of the weekend, although on Friday I am planning on going to the storage unit and getting my stuff out of it on Saturday. So, but like I said yesterday, I got my hold for the audiobook came in. So if I really have to play catch up, I can switch to the audiobook. But I think I'm going to just start reading this normally, or maybe I'll do a read and listen and see how I think of it. But without the graphic audio, I feel like I might just read it straight up, but we'll see. I have it checked out, so if I need to switch back and forth, then I can. So this is on the docket for tonight. And then I did pick out a bookmark yesterday, so I will be using this pretty Spring in Japan bookmark. I'm very excited to read Nesta's book, and I have a feeling this book is going to make me cry a million times because I'm someone who cries easily as it is, but I feel like Nesta's really gonna put me through the ringer. And then we only have one more book left after that for the SJM along, which is set. So that is it book-wise. So let's just do the quest calendar so I can get going on my plans for tonight. So yesterday we did have the chance to hire 2 new crew members, and I did hire both of them. Oh, I did realize after I filmed my clip and I was getting things all on my character sheets and organized, there's something I forgot to mention, and I was like, oh, I should try to mention that for tomorrow. Oh, I was gonna buy those 2 ship parts, so we got a total of 5, but my note, I actually was looking at the wrong thing. I already had 5 ship parts, so I didn't end up buying those 2 because I thought I had 3, but I actually already had 5, so I took those 10 credits back, and I did not buy those 2 ship parts. So if you're keeping track of my accounting or something, that is what happened. I don't know why you would, but just in case. Or if you're just one of those numbers people where you're like, wait a second, that's not right. Okay, so let's see what today brings. Ooh, okay. It looks like this is our captain of the ship. So I'm guessing maybe we're getting our next mission, our next job. Let's see. On the bridge of the Karnak, Captain Kalis accepts a mission or accepts a message on a holographic communicator. It is a broadcast for a mission from a prominent local figure. This must be important. So number 1, hear the message, and then there are 2 options. A, they're both negotiate the reward. A is a charisma roll, and B is a strength roll. So let's see what's going on here first. Ooh, we got a big block of text. All right. This is Senator Terraria of the Reformation with an urgent message and a mission for any available vessels in the area. We have received word that a former scout pilot for the Reformation has defected. The pilot goes by the call sign Alex and has important intel regarding the Reformation and our activities. We cannot afford to have the information leaked to the former members of the Zorian Empire. The peace of the galaxy is at stake. A signal was detected on the planet Athelia, where we believe the pilot can be found. If you are willing and capable, return the traitor to the council city of Dressa on planet Germanus for trial. That's the planet we're currently at. Send confirmation of acceptance and success upon capture of the target for the prosperity of the Zenula Prime. Okay, so then negotiate the reward. So charisma with persuasive or strength with intimidating? I have neither of those skills. And my charisma and strength are both a -2. So we're just going to go with charisma because that sounds better than being intimidating. All right, so we'll do option A. Oh, there's more text. This is Mission Command on behalf of the Senator Terraria. We are sending you the coordinates of the last known location on planet Athelia, though it is not expected that the target has remained in that area. So what is our virtue? Our virtue is a +4. So we get a +3 bonus to our roll. Okay, cool. So we get a +1. Nice. All right, so let us roll. Okay, that is a 19. I'm okay with that. So that puts us at 20. If the result is 15 or more, we can advance you a payment of 15 credits. Upon successful completion and return of the target, we will pay you 25 credits. Add 15 credits to your inventory. Heck yeah. All right. Awesome sauce. Okay, so that is it for the quest calendar. I don't know how this update is 26 minutes right now, but I am sorry. It's another long update. But we only have one more day, so it's another weekly vlog where I just filmed 3 clips. But that's okay. Yeah. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good Friday. Hello. I did it again. I did not film my wrap-up clip on Friday, so we are going to be playing a little bit of catch-up. Ignore the mess behind me. I will explain it in next week's vlog in the beginning. So if you're wondering, hold out for week 8 to figure out what all those boxes are. But anyway, I have a kitty sitting right next to me. So yeah, it is Tuesday. So I'm trying to think back to Friday and what I had to update you on. Friday night, I did end up finally starting A Court of Silver Flames. And then Friday night, I ended about that far through. So I got to chapter 19, which is page 216. So I did actually start A Court of Silver Flames on Friday, which was a lot later than I expected to start it. But as for what had happened up till there, oh, see, that's why did I stop there? I stopped where they have their first kiss. But yeah, so we have Nesta being forced to go and train with Cassian, and their push and pull, and Nesta, my girl Nesta. There's a lot of things going on with Nesta that I really connect with. And I don't really hear this talked about too much. But one thing that's really, really that I am not struggling with, but that's hits me, is the fact that she had a closer relationship with her mom than her father. And that's the same for me. I do kind of not have the best relationship with my father. And I was very, very close with my mom. Now, this isn't the same situation as them because here, Elaine and Feyre didn't really have as much of a relationship with their mom, partly because they were younger, but also they were more like their fathers. Well, Feyre was more her father's daughter, and then we had Elaine, who is kind of like babied by everybody. So my brother and my sister, I wouldn't say like are my father's kids because they had a good relationship with my mom too, so it wasn't like split in that way. But so I don't know. There's a moment where she's in Feyre and Rhys's new house for the first time, and she's looking at all the portraits, and she notices that there's none of her, but then she also notices that there's none of her mom. And that almost makes her even more sad. And it kind of broke me because I couldn't imagine not having pictures up of my mom, having lost her, and I don't know. So, and just her, feeling like she lost the person that was in her court. And maybe I'm projecting. I'm probably projecting a lot. But yeah, I really connect with Nesta. In some different ways. So yeah. There's people outside playing, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit because they're like right outside my door. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I am kind of a pissy with Feyre and Rhys, and I feel very bad for Nesta because she's having these moments where she's just like, they're all talking about me behind my back. And I don't know if it's now or later, but that's what happens when I don't film these on the day that they're supposed to be. But there's a moment where she kind of thinks it in her head, but then when she's talking with Elaine, it comes out and she just basically tells Elaine. But it just breaks my heart that she did so much to protect Elaine and to allow Elaine to kind of grieve and process how she needs to be, whether it was unhealthy or not. And granted, I didn't like Nesta wasting away, but it felt like Elaine didn't give Nesta the same kind of benefit of the doubt. Although she was trying to keep her back in the fold, but it's hard because I can see how Nesta's kind of a bee, but at the same time, and maybe because I have gone through my own sort of issues, I can see that it's coming from a place of pain and that she's really struggling. And it seems like the only other person who can tell that there's underlying things outside of she's just being a bee is like Cassian. But even then, he doesn't always do something because he has his own hurts there. So I'm just like, oh, it's just so tough. It's just so tough. And Nesta feels like she is so completely alone and like she's been ostracized by her own family because they have their new found family and they have welcomed Elaine in, and while she's aware that she's kind of pushing them away and she could be welcomed. At the same time, not 100%. Because Rhys definitely has feelings about Nesta. He had feelings about Nesta before he even met her. Let's be honest. Because he is so wrapped up in the fact that Feyre was doing the hunting and basically keeping the family surviving. And from his perspective, Nesta did nothing. When I mean, she kind of was doing nothing, but she also was trying to, we find out from her point of view, she was trying to court a guy and marry him as a form of helping the family, because that's what her mother raised her and taught her to do, of how to be a benefit towards the family. And so there's a lot of judgments being made about Nesta that kind of breaks my heart. But, and once again, maybe this is me projecting on her, but some of the situations where she doesn't use these words, but it's something similar to where I felt, where you're being included in familial events more as like an obligation because you're family versus actually wanting to be there. And whether that's the case or not, that's kind of seemed like the way that she was describing how she felt, and that's how I felt. So I was just like, oh, so this is, it's deep, but it's beautiful, and I love it. 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 So stay tuned to hear my thoughts about the rest of the book for next week's vlog and my wrap up. But so there is that reading wise, and that's all I really read on Friday. So we'll just do the quest calendar and then wrap this week up. So let me grab this. So on Thursday, we were chatting with this senator dude and are receiving a new mission. So let's see here. Okay. So Friday, it looks like we are back in our ship and we are back to traveling. All right, Captain wants us headed to Athelia. So A, fly with the manual controls, or B, rely on a charted course. So we've got piloting. The skill can be used for both of these options, and then it's either a dexterity or a wisdom modifier. Now our dex and our wisdom are the same at a +3, and we do not have the piloting skill. So let me see if there's any other information we need to know here. Okay, so fly the Karnak, navigate to Athelia. Okay, so this doesn't really have anything different. So, and it's combined. The results are combined, so it's not like there's choosing an option is going to be different. So it doesn't really matter which one I choose because they both have the same bonuses. So we will roll and go from there. So we just have a +3, and that is a natural 20. Heck yeah, so 23. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you navigate the Karnak precisely and pilot quickly to your destination. Your efficiency in traveling allows you to save on fuel. Gain 1 credit. You must consume 1 meal ration during the journey. Perfect. So we will gain a credit, and I will remove 1 meal ration. And that was it. That's a super easy quest calendar for today. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to leave me an emoji down below, leave me... I'm trying to remember what we talked about this week. Leave me something cleaning related for the Innkeeper Chronicles. So like a broom or a dustpan or something fun like that. But otherwise, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you soon with another video.